Hey everybody, before we get into today's show, just wanted to make sure you knew that you can get your free bottle of either the Universal Binder or the Daily Detox Support completely free on all qualifying orders going on right now over at Equalife while supplies last. So if you've been looking for a good binder to use with your favorite flex meal or cheat meal or alcohol or before a sauna, or maybe add it on to one of your favorite protocols like the Equalife Detox, Functional Medicine Detox, get your bottle completely free. Or maybe you're already doing a heavy metal detox or a mold-based protocol and you'd rather pick up the Daily Detox Support to help ramp up phase 2 detoxification, get those environmental toxins, the heavy metals, etc., out of the body that much easier. Well, either way, your pick on us. Head on over to stevencabral.com/shop for all the details and get your free bottle while supplies last. Now, enjoy the show.
Welcome to the Cabral Concept, where board-certified Doctor of Naturopathy, Dr. Stephen Cabral, shares with you exactly how you can reverse aging, take back your health, and live a life full of energy and passion, with new 20-minute episodes every single day to keep you healthy and engaged. Now, here's your host, Dr. Stephen Cabral.
All right, everybody, we are back with our brand new Friday review. Today's episode 2926. All of the product reviews will be there today, including the nasal strip that I'm wearing. I'm going to share the brand that I feel is the absolute most comfortable. You can use it during your workouts to improve airway flow, as well as sleeping. Even if you're using malt tape, it will dramatically increase, in my opinion, especially if you have a deviated septum, the amount of air that's able to travel through your nostrils, improving snoring, improving energy, and much more. Plus, I have a brand new book review today. One by Dr. Tara Brach. If you haven't heard of it, I want to share that with you. I learned about this one recently from Tim Ferriss, and I wanted to give a shout out to Tara as well. And then new research on corticosteroids. If you've never heard about corticosteroids, and if you may be using one for any type of inflammatory condition, the dangers associated with that, what you might be able to do instead to get better results. And then I want to go over something very interesting I find fascinating, the new ability to be able to read people's minds. Yes, you're actually reading people's minds. So we're going to go over all of that here today on the show. Before we get started, I always love to be able to give you just a quick recap from the week. So on Monday's show, just in case you missed it, we went over the missing secret to unlimited energy. And no, it's not these nasal strips here, but it is something that I believe will get you through even your most difficult days with plenty of energy, no brain fog, no grogginess, no trying to hit that snooze button over and over and over. That's episode 2922. 2923 was the ingredients that should never be found in your protein powder. If you use a protein powder, please check out that show for what not to include in it. 2924 was the most common cause of acid reflux. I actually went over about 12 to 15 different causes. This is almost every single cause of acid reflux. You'll be able to figure out which one you may have, or a loved one or patient or client in your practice. And then yesterday's show was, are the blue zones a hoax? There's many people out there saying right now, there's no such thing as the blue zones. None of the research is accurate, et cetera, et cetera. I just wanted to give you an unbiased look at what I've seen researching the blue zones now for well over 10 years, speaking with Dan Buettner, and really going in depth on this with my teaching inside of High Performance Health. All right, that's the podcast recap for the week. Let's get into our product review. I'm obviously wearing the product right now. I've worn nasal strips on and off since maybe I was 22 years old, 23 years old. I don't think that I wore them in college, maybe just for, fear of me wearing a nasal strip. I don't know, 21, 22 years old. Maybe I cared about that. Probably not, but I may have. But I know that when allergy season would roll around, I would absolutely wear them. And then I found how effective they were. So I started to wear them with workouts and definitely when I run. So now I use them when I'm running. I find them to be incredibly helpful because I try to run and only nasal breathe. So unless you're sprinting, if you're just going for a run, should be able to nasal breathe. And it helps anybody like myself with a deviated septum to better be able to breathe through their nasal passages. And why does that matter? Well, truthfully, it allows you to get more air into your lungs how the human body was meant to get air in. The human body was not meant to consume massive amounts of oxygen through the mouth or air through the mouth and then into the lungs. It was meant to come through the nose and then either back out through the nose or out through the mouth. So I'll breathe through my nose and then out through my mouth while I'm running, or in through my nose, out through my nose if it's a light run. I also wear these most nights for sleeping. It improves my sleep scores, helps drop my heart rates, and overall, like I said, better sleep scores. So it's a win-win. They're very inexpensive. The company that I've been using is Hostage Tape. Now, I've used Breathe Right. I've used a bunch of different companies before. The only issue that I have with some of the other ones is that it's not gentle on your nose. They're hard plastic for whatever reason, and it feels like it's like just pulling at my nose. They're just not comfortable. And when I started that's why actually I stopped for a long while, because when I got rid of my allergies, I'm like, I don't really need to use nasal strips anymore. So instead, I just didn't use anything. I got introduced to the company's name is Hostage Tape. I used their malt tape, and they sent me a trial pack of the nasal strips. So I'm like, oh, let me give it a shot. And these, you don't feel like you're wearing. That's kind of the most important thing, right? You don't feel like you're wearing it, so you don't really notice it. So I'm a big advocate. My wife and oldest daughter now use the Hostage Tape malt tape. Same with myself. And then I'm the only one in my family who uses the nasal strips, but I'm the only one in my family also who has difficulty breathing through at least one of their nostrils. And so I'm a big advocate of that. So if you're someone that snores, if you're someone that exercises, wants to get more oxygen in, definitely give it a shot. I will link up my link for you at stevencabral.com/2926. I know that you get at least a month free when you use the link that I've connected with Hostage Tape. So give it a shot, stevencabral.com/2926, and I will link up this company right here. Hostage Tape, 30-day supply. Very inexpensive. I found them extremely useful, so I wanted to share that with you. All right, today's book review of the week is called Radical Acceptance, the updated edition by Dr. Tara Brach. She's a PhD. It's called Embracing Your Life with the Heart of a Buddha, an invitation to embrace ourselves with all our pain, fear, and anxieties. So I did a lot of work on myself, my mind, my worry, my safety, security issues, all those things in my 20s, and it was dramatically helpful. I read hundreds upon hundreds upon hundreds of books. I attended seminars, all sorts of different things. This would have been a great book for me to have back then. And what it's really talking about, and I would love to share with you just the foreword. The foreword was written by Jack Kornfield of Spirit Rock Center. And it is a great summary of this book. It says this: you hold in your hands a beautiful invitation to remember that it is possible to live your life with the wise and tender heart of a Buddha. In Radical Acceptance, Tara Brach graciously offers both healing words and transformative understanding, the fruits of her many years of beloved meditation as a beloved meditation teacher and psychotherapist. Because she has immersed herself in day-to-day work of reclaiming human dignity with heartfelt compassion and forgiveness, Tara's teachings are immediate and tangible. They melt the barriers that keep us from being fully alive. In a stressful and competitive modern society that has fostered unworthiness, self-judgment, and loss of the sacred for so many, the principles of radical acceptance articulated here are essential for reclaiming a joyful and liberated life. Through her rich stories and accounts of students and clients, through Tara's own personal journey, and through the clear systematic practices she offers, Radical Acceptance shows us wise ways to nurture ourselves, transform our sorrows, and reclaim our wholeness. Really nice. I mean, that is it. She uses tons of stories throughout the book in order to be able to share with you the greatest principles and breakthroughs that she wants for you as well. One that I wanted to pull out, the book is just about 200 or 300 pages, is the RAIN principle that she uses, okay? I believe she learned this from one of her Buddhist teachers. RAIN is recognize what's going on, then allow the experience to be just as it is, then begin to investigate with interest and care, and finally, nurture with self-compassion. So essentially what this means for anybody going through anxiety and worry and just overwhelmed by life, first recognizing like what's going on, right? What's going on? And then accept, okay, this is happening. But then start to question, why is this happening? Why do I care? Why am I worried? What about this concerns me? And then after that, beginning to understand where you are at this moment, and especially where you are at this moment isn't necessarily where you will be in the future. That this is an experience which will allow you to grow, transform, and work through it. And that we as humans, all humans, have our own challenges and obstacles that we must face. So it's a great book. If you're someone dealing with worry and anxiety and really worthiness, like feeling unworthy, then this may just be the right book for you. Radical Acceptance by Dr. Tara Brach. All right, let's get into our research for the week. Let's go over the corticosteroid drugs first. This one I read by Dr. Linda Russell, and it's basically a public service warning. I thought it was fair that those people using corticosteroids, such as an inhaler or allergy medication or some autoimmune issues, anything to treat high levels of inflammation, like a prednisone as well, can sometimes lead to serious side effects. Now, I will say that those serious side effects often do not happen within a couple days or maybe even a week or so. It's usually chronic use of these medications, but it can lead to, and I'll most likely do a full podcast and follow up on this because it's really important. It can lead to things that you wouldn't even think about, like osteoporosis or bone fractures. It leads to weakening the bone. I can't go through the why right now, but it essentially raises your cortisol levels. And as you raise your stress levels and corticosteroid hormone levels, it can lead to all of these issues. So one is weight gain. Another is type 2 diabetes because it can increase glucose in the bloodstream as well and decrease insulin sensitivities. It can lead to bone fractures, hip fractures, what else? Cataracts, thinning of the skin, thinning of the hair, depression, anxiety, fluid retention such as edema, headaches, glaucoma, insomnia, dizziness, avascular necrosis, so insufficient blood supply to the bones, causing them to collapse, and many more. So this is something serious. If you are on an inhaler for chronic everyday use, please speak with your doctor. I'm not telling you to stop it. I'm not giving you any medical advice, medical cures, medical diagnosis, medical treatment plans. What I do want you to do is at least talk with your doctor about this. Are there any non-corticosteroid based alternatives? All right. And then of course, if you can, even better, look for the underlying root cause. Look to see why you may have this high level of inflammation. What is it coming from and why? All right. Now let's end on what I believe to be a positive one. Some people may not, I know, because they are scared of all of this new technology. And I think it's healthy to have healthy fear of what is coming. But I believe, and I was discussing this with our IHP mastery group, that these things can be used for good as well. This new one is a functional MRI. Now, functional MRIs have been around before, like it's been around for years. So this is not like a big breakthrough. What the breakthrough is that it's being specifically trained with a special decoder to be able to read people's minds, to read their brains. And what the decoder does is it takes this image and then it's able to translate that into text, summarizing what a person is actually thinking. And although it's not perfect right now, it's getting close. And if a person holds an image in their mind, the decoder is actually able to draw that image. And this is really fascinating. So why will this matter? Well, right now they're developing this technology to someday help people that have lost their speech because of a stroke or ALS. But I also believe that maybe, I thought it'd be fascinating. So I have friends, and I have certainly many wellness clients that have come to me and they have a child that has some level of autism or on the autism spectrum disorder. And some are nonverbal. And again, you're not going to have your child going into an MRI, and I understand this. I'm just thinking out loud. But wouldn't it be amazing in the future that if you knew someone that was nonverbal, that you might be able to understand what they were thinking? What if you're able to help them then to a greater degree? How amazing would that be? What if someone was even in a coma? and they weren't necessarily conscious, but their mind was still going, right? Or they weren't awake. I guess that would be consciously awake. Wouldn't it be amazing if we were able to read what was on their minds? Or in a more lighthearted sense, there are many people, many older people as well, that their pet, their dog, their cat is their sole companion. How wild would it be if you could actually know what that pet was thinking? Now, I know I'm kind of going off on a tangent, but my mind always moves out and says, okay, if this is possible now, what might be possible in the future? A greater level of communication, and then maybe a greater level of compassion would come from that, because we would truly know what was going on in someone's mind. So fascinating. Again, all these things can be used for evil, but they can also be used for a lot of good in the world. Hopefully today's show was helpful. I'll link up all the research, the book review of the week, these nasal strips, and so much more at stephencabral.com/2926. And don't forget to come back and join me for the weekend edition of the Cabral Concept, our Cabral House Calls, where we answer our community's questions each and every weekend. Take care, everybody. Hey, everybody. Thanks for tuning into today's show. Before you head off, just make sure you do not miss your choice to pick up either the Universal Binder or the Daily Detox Support completely free. This is a $49+ value, yours completely free on all qualifying orders going on right now over at Ecolife. So you get to choose. Usually we're going to give you one of our favorite items, but we know some people may already have the Universal Binder. Some people are already on the heavy metal detox, the mold protocol, or whatever it may be, and they may want to try our new Daily Detox Support, which enables your body to ramp up phase 1 and phase 2 detoxification, specifically phase 2, to help you with heavy metals, environmental toxins, etc. So this is yours completely free on us to try it out. These are a full 30-day supply. Head on over to stephencabral.com/shop for all the details and get your free bottle this week while supplies last.